Hi there, thanks for watching Peter's Food Adventures. Today, well, I bought some chickens and I'm gonna be smoking the chickens. Before we smoke the chickens, we're gonna prepare a brine. I'm doing two types of brine, one for each chicken. One is a wet brine that requires, I guess, soaking it in the brine overnight. The other version is a dry brine, which also requires it to be prepped a day in advance. So this really is a 2-day recipe on how to smoke, or you can actually just roast it in the oven as well. The flavor is amazing, it's tender, it comes right through all the way into the chicken. Okay, so to get started, I've got 4 liters of water or a gallon of water. Initially, you just need the base of the salt. That is 3/4 of a cup of salt and equal amount of sugar. If using kosher salt, you'll need to have 1 cup of salt because it's obviously a different ratio and size. Now, this is basically, I'm making a soup. So I've got some thyme in there, some whole peppercorns. Now, some people like to add some chili flakes. I think I'll just put a little bit in. Others add fennel seeds. You can add a lemon if you like. And I'm just adding 1 carrot, bit of celery, some garlic, and of course some onions. And that wouldn't be complete without some bay leaves and a clove. And that's it. Now this just has to come to a boil and it has to completely cool before you can put your chicken or your turkey in it. Oh, this smells so good. So just make sure all the salt and the sugar on the bottom is diluted and melted into the water. Oh, so good. Okay, so now that's cooled in the fridge. The Himalayan salt gives it this kind of pinky brown color. Now I'm straining it just so when I put the chicken in, it's just cleaner when it comes out when it's ready to be cooked. All right, so now we've got the chicken and that just gets put inside the brine. Fill it all up. And I put it in a pot, put the lid on, and now it goes into the fridge, ready for tomorrow for the smoking. Now, when making a dry rub or dry brine, you want to use a kosher salt. Kosher salt is a thicker, coarse salt, and you're really wanting to be using about a teaspoon per pound. So this is a 3-pound or 1.5 kilo chicken. Now, if I was making the rest of it from scratch, I would be using maybe 2 teaspoons of the black pepper and a teaspoon of oregano, some garlic, and some paprika to kind of make my own. But I'm not doing any of that. I'm actually using a Cajun seasoning. Sometimes I'll do a chipotle, depending what I'm in the mood for. And really, I'm just gonna add about 5 teaspoons. It's all roughly. And I'm gonna mix that through, and then the bird gets completely rubbed inside and out. Time to get a little messy. Just a matter of rubbing the whole chicken. I guess what you didn't see before is I patted the chicken down with a paper towel before. Even then, it's not perfect. You want to rub it inside and out. Look, I don't think this version of brining works as well as a wet brine, but the theory behind it is all the juices will be expelled, or some of it will be expelled by the salt from the chicken, and then it'll be gradually reabsorbed while you leave it in overnight. Is that true? Is that not? See, the kosher salt, it's thicker, chunkier pieces, so it's not as fine. And even the inside. And that's it. So now this just gets covered with Glad wrap, and I'm gonna put it in the fridge overnight. Has to be in the fridge. Please do not leave it on the counter. Okay, so the wet brine is done. That's been soaking for, a good probably 18 to 20 hours now. And the dry brine is here, and that's already seasoned and ready to go. I'm just gonna tie that up, and I'll show you how to do that in a sec. You don't have to tie this up, but just when you do tie it up, it just presents a lot nicer if you're serving. Sometimes when I am lazy, I don't tie it up. It just does look a bit sloppy, but we're gonna tie it up today. Ooh, that's cold. Now my brine is a bit pinky brown in color. It's because I used a Himalayan salt. And as you would have seen, I made it almost like a soup with all the flavors of the onions and the garlic. Just find you get a really nice flavor than a plain brine of just water and a bunch of dried peppercorns. Beautiful. So same thing, and make sure the wingtips are tucked in underneath as they are. Wrap this around. This one I'm actually going to tie it around this way. Poke it, it's very juicy. If I poke this, equally juicy. Okay, so the same juicy test for both of them. All right, the moment of truth. Here we are trying the dry brine. Oh, it's so good. How can you go wrong? If you gave this to me, I would not give it back. Let's try the one with the wet brine. Okay. Oh, so good. Okay. The wet brine, I shouldn't talk with a mouthful. Yum. The wet brine is juicier. There's more moisture in the meat. The flavor is very similar. It tastes smoke, has a bit of Cajun on the outside. The inside flavor is juicier, much, much juicier. So the winner would be the wet brine. If you have no time or you don't want to fuss with it, do the dry. Either way, you're not going to go wrong. Oh, so good. Well, thanks for watching Peter's Food Adventures. Please remember to hit like, subscribe to my channel, and the full recipe will be out on my website. We'll see you next time.